Fine.
Hello, everybody. My name is Busy Bird, and you are now tuned in to the Zoom version of the recap. And welcome to our draft show or post draft show.
Yay. Yes. I'm
Okay.
Angie. I'm
Special guest cameo host making his second appearance,
unfortunately.
DJ Nuggy Nug. Unfortunately, that sucks. All right, that's always pleasing.
I'm Tex.
Yeah, Tex. Woohoo!
Woo!
Tex
Uh,
is my favorite, I think.
wow.
Sorry, no shade.
I've been here forever. You're just gonna do me like that?
I mean, hey. Well, I'm not sure if you guys tuned in to the draft, but if you did not tune into the draft, we're about to tell you everything you missed out on. So,
This was a interesting draft, being that it's virtual, but it didn't feel weird to me because I feel like drafts could be virtual every year, and
I
it
honestly
wouldn't.
felt like it was way more efficient. Like it was really fast. I think, I didn't have to wait for people to walk across the stage or walk to the stage.
Hmm.
I really think they should keep doing it, honestly.
I think it was more interesting to watch because we got to see how rich these people really were.
What people?
Jones
Like Jerry Jones, he was
on a $250
drafting
million
from his
yacht.
yacht.
I don't know why that's a surprise to anybody because
It's not a
Jerry.
surprise. It's just cool.
The commissioner said he was in his basement and it looked like
It looks like my whole house. So it was a flex. I
We need new collective bargaining.
So, the first round, I think this draft was pretty exciting because there was a lot of talent and I
Cowboys
don't think it
Philly.
went exactly, yeah, not talent that you're showing on your jersey, but
Talent.
there was a
Talent.
lot of talent that I don't think it went the way people expected it to go. Like
True.
there's so many wide receivers that were capable of being first round picks, and KJ Hill stayed on the board till like round what 6 or 7.
Hmm.
He was projected to go first, second round, but that's just how much talent there was. Um, First pick, first round, of course, was Heisman winner
Joey Burrow.
Joe Burrow going back home to Cincinnati.
We
And what do you guys think about that pick? I think we all saw it coming, but
did see it coming. I was upset that it took them the whole time to make their
yeah,
pick.
like what are
I
you thinking
was
about?
like, okay, we know what you're gonna do, but I'm not surprised. He A lot of people were saying he didn't seem excited, but I think he was more so not excited that he didn't get the opportunity to like walk across the stage and get his picture taken and
And fun fact, did y'all see the little 9 necklace he wore? Like the little
Mhm.
chain? He said Lil Boosie gave it to him.
Wow. He's a goat. He really is. He really is. But I think looking at who the Bengals took throughout the whole draft, I think that they could be a pretty good team this season. Pretty good. I don't think they're gonna like, you know,
I think they may
go to
have
the
like
Super
one of the
Bowl,
best
but I
seasons
think
they've
they
had
have,
in a while.
yeah, they have definitely have potential to be good.
I think they definitely drafted well, but we'll get to that later.
Mm-hmm.
So, second pick, of course, Chase Young, animal. He's ranked like number one in his position. This
Predator.
man is 6'5", 264. That's crazy.
Yeah, the
Really crazy.
Redskins definitely got a good one with that one for sure.
Definitely. But we'll just have to see how fast he leaves. They don't they don't pick things up. Pick number 3, Jeff Okuda, also from Ohio State. The first 3 picks all went to Ohio State at some point,
Hmm.
which is a crazy fact. But Jeff Okuda, best cornerback in the draft, and he's going to the Lions, which I don't think is a bad place because if you think about it, I don't even I can't even name anybody that plays defense in Detroit. The last notable defensive player they had was Sue. I don't want to butcher his first name, but
Yeah.
but I don't
What you
um
about it?
don't really hear much about their defense. Maybe that's why they don't win a lot of games.
He was. They did have Darius Slay, but he gone now. So
Yeah,
they
that's
needed.
I was thinking about Slay, but I didn't
I
really
don't
think
even
he
went
was
to the Eagles.
We'll get to the Eagles later because
that good.
they're doing a little bit too much for me. I don't like that.
um, fourth pick of the first round, New York. They drafted an offensive tackle and Andrew Thomas from Georgia. Also huge, 6'5", 315. Crazy animal. So,
Yeah.
maybe they'll be able to run the ball more and pass the ball efficiently to have somebody to block for them. So shout out to them for getting, another piece for that offensive line. Number 5, Tua,
Tua.
Tua, Tua. Um, I don't know.
I don't know. I think we all saw it coming because I couldn't see the Dolphins taking anybody else. But I think he's pretty much going to sit this season out on the bench.
That's what I
Needs
heard.
to, but I don't think he will.
I also don't think he should because I don't think I mean, he was hurt and it was a bad injury, but it's been a while. And by the time he sees the field, it would have been like almost almost a year.
That's
I
true.
still would take more time as that's a hip injury is very rare in the NFL.
Yeah.
So we're in college in football. So it'd be you have to really make sure he's okay. And I don't want him to rush out there in Miami and then his career is kind of over because you don't get many chances as a quarterback. You get like a season to prove yourself.
Hmm.
Well,
But I mean, with the Dolphins, it's like so many other things to blame that he could probably get away with not having a great.
Dolphins are just, they need everything. They literally need
But they got a lot this draft. They had lots of picks. Lots.
they did
they
have a
needed
lot.
every one of them.
Yeah, they did. They for sure did. But
We'll just have to see how that goes. I guess we'll have to see next year because we probably won't play this season, but I feel like they throw him in there a couple of games, maybe at the end of the season, just to see what's up. But I didn't really too much care for the Chargers pick, Justin Herbert.
I think he'll be all right.
if they were gonna get a quarterback, I feel like they should have got Jake Fromm.
Jake Fromm, I don't
He's
know.
inconsistent, man.
A lot of people don't believe in him. Like
I do.
he
He
had
was
a
very inconsistent.
great time at Georgia, like being a starting QB. He won a lot of games, but he also lost the games that mattered, like
And
due
then
to being
he was at Georgia for a little while.
He was there 3 years, I think.
No, I think he was there for
for 4.
I think he was red shirt there and then was there for 4. I think. I don't know. But Justin Herbert, he has good size. That's like one thing you can't coach. So I think he'll be okay.
6'6".
It's
Oh
it.
my goodness.
Just off his size alone, I feel like he can be decent. And then we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
And they also drafted well for him. Like they have some receivers that are definitely gonna be targets for him. And then they still have Keenan Allen. So I mean, I think they may be up to something.
Maybe I never have much faith in the Chargers though, no matter who they have on their team.
I never had faith in them because their quarterback was what's his name? Rivers.
Rivers.
Philip Rivers was straight. You know,
Dude, he is.
I mean, he was like
he
straight
he
is like a good way to describe him. He wasn't.
he put up
Jameis
some
Winston.
great.
He wasn't like.
He put up some good numbers.
Rivers all day, but like whoever is over there running the Chargers, just they're not doing a good job.
Yeah, he wasn't a terrible quarterback. He was at the Chargers. Chargers
I don't
is
think he
just
was good or bad. I think he was just kind of there.
the Chargers is a tough organization. People forget Drew Brees was at the Chargers once upon a time, and as soon as he left, he was successful. So I think if Philip Rivers had maybe went somewhere else, he'd have more success.
We'll find out this season because I think where'd he go? I forgot where he went.
Uh,
He went-
Exactly. That's how relevant Philip Rivers is.
well, he's older now.
I think he's been anywhere.
I'm pretty sure he does not play for the Chargers anymore.
I know he doesn't. Oh, the Colts. He went to the Colts, which is weird.
Yeah.
I think he'll do good with the Colts. Colts have weapons, and
For
he
like
can make.
And they
20
drafted well too, kinda.
He could have just retired though. Like I think he would have been fine not playing anymore.
Someone's got to take care of the 9 kids.
He has nothing to show for his career. Like nothing if he
I
retires.
wouldn't
right
say nothing. It's just no Super Bowl.
How many playoff appearances?
That's true. That's true.
He struggles.
I don't. That's a
The
that's a
Chargers
debate.
struggle
That's a,
as an organization. So
yeah, exactly. You can't put all that on Philip.
I'd put Philip Rivers with Tony Romo in the same kind of like legacy sense.
Pretty much.
That's fair. I could definitely see that. Tony Romo's better though.
I won't speak on it.
It's better.
All right. Carolina had the number 7 pick in the first round, and they picked up Derek Brown, defensive tackle from Auburn, 6'5", 326. Oh my goodness. Definitely a great pick for them because, they're building around their offense, but their defense, I feel like they drafted well for their defense. That's a scary part.
They did.
So
It's really a lot of what they needed. Besides, they have quarterback issues, but with Christian McCaffrey and their offense and defense seems level now because they drafted well. So
yeah,
scary.
so hopefully
Might be better than the Falcons. I don't know.
We'll get to the Falcons in a second.
Unfortunately.
At number 8, the Cardinals picked up Isaiah Simmons.
I was shocked, let me tell you. I was not expecting
shocked,
that.
But once I started to dissect it, I was like, okay, you got Patrick Peterson over there. What's his name? They have a solid, well, not a solid. They have a decent defense, and they've had a decent defense for the past few years, basically being led by Patrick Peterson, because I feel like he's not going to be on a defense that's just terrible. I mean, of course he plays for the Cardinals, but that was a great draft for me. I feel like they did well by drafting Isaiah Simmons.
See, because in my opinion, with the Cardinals, like their offense, like now especially when they got DeAndre Hopkins, their offense is good. They can score, but like they had the worst defense in the NFL last year, which is one of the biggest reasons why they weren't as good.
Yeah, but Patrick, I have a lot of faith in Patrick, just because Patrick Peterson has been, even if they have the worst defense in the league, he's still probably the best person on their team, on the defensive side of the ball, no doubt. Number 9, Jaguars. I should have worn my jersey. C.J. Henderson.
I thought you were going to today.
I decided not to because y'all know C.J. Henderson. What do you say about a cornerback that good? I mean, like, I'm surprised he went that high. I mean, went that low, and like 9. Come on, he's still lottery, I guess, but we'll see what the Jaguars. I don't know.
They
about
kind
the
of got a
Jaguars.
squad, not gonna lie. They got some decent picks.
I don't know. I don't want to get my hopes up because they had that great year a few years ago, and then they did what the Falcons did, and they just fell off the map. Haven't heard from
Yeah.
them since.
They always put together a good defense, but they just can't find the formula.
They can't find quarterback. Minshew, I don't know how I feel about him.
Is he coming back this season?
I think he is.
I kind of like him. I think he works well in the Jaguars.
That's what they said they're sticking. So
I think they trust him. He creeps me out a little bit, but I think he's a pretty good
That was a
quarterback.
nice one.
He's a decent quarterback.
So then we just go, you know, the Browns and the Jets both pick up offensive linemen, and that seemed to be where it was at in the first round. Offensive lineman, defensive lineman. But what really surprised me was Henry Ruggs going to the Raiders.
I like Ruggs, but he shouldn't have went that high. He should have been the first receiver off the board, not over Judy or CD
They
Lamb.
must
I was not expecting that at all.
have really liked
They like 4.27 is what they liked.
I mean, come on, dude. 4.27.
I mean, he's not I'm just saying he's not my number one receiver. Like he's a good slot guy, and you know he can route run, but over Jerry Judy and CD Lamb, I just don't know.
with that. It really just comes from, if something like that piqued their interest, they probably had like a lot of good meetings with him or something. So I guess they thought he fit their system the best.
Yeah, it just he's a good receiver. I think he's still gonna be okay, but it
I
was
think
just
Going
it just seemed
crazy.
like speed.
I see him going crazy, dude. Some of the best wide receivers in the league are that good because they're fast. Come on now. Like Tyreek Hill.
But
If
Tyreek
Tyreek
Hill
Hill
also-
when you
slow,
have the Tyreek Hills and the guys like that, you have to have a solid system, and I don't see the Raiders as that.
I
I
think
think
that's building.
I think Tyreek Hill has good route. He runs good routes too, and that's what I was gonna say about Henry Ruggs. Is he reminds me of someone like Des Bryant, where like you're not necessarily gonna run good routes, but if you've got speed and you can break off, then you can get a really good pass. You know,
As my number
Like
one
Henry,
receiver,
if they wanted him that bad, he still would have been there later in the draft. Like I don't know if I would have not wasted. I don't want to say wasted because he's a good wide receiver. I just probably wouldn't have took him in the first round.
He wouldn't have been on the board in second round.
they could have got him at 19. They could have got somebody else at 12 and still got him at 19. He was still gonna be there.
Dude, look at this. Jerry Judy, CeeDee Lamb both went before 19.
But
Yeah,
no one else needed a wide receiver.
exactly. So they didn't necessarily need him unless they were afraid that the Broncos or the Cowboys were gonna pick him up.
But CeeDee Lamb was still on the board. So and I don't know. I don't know. I feel
They
like
could-
they could have waited.
They definitely could have waited to 19.
yeah, for sure. I don't
Well,
think any of those
maybe-
guys are anything.
Maybe something happened behind closed doors that we don't know about. Maybe he
Yeah.
just had like a
Had to be.
really good workout, or maybe they just wanted him as their guy.
Maybe. Then again, the Raiders are weird, like in general. So they were probably just like, let's just do
And
this instead.
when you get one-on-one with somebody, like I was saying, like it's like, well, you fit our scheme really well, and like this is what we're going for next year, and it's like you are like the perfect person for what we could try to do next year.
Yeah.
So we'll
The
see how that
Raiders,
plays
I
out.
feel like their draft picks were kind of all over the place. I guess because they had so much to repair, but like I have no idea what direction the Raiders are going in. It's just kind of hard to tell. So I don't know. I guess we'll see.
So then from Henry Ruggs, we go to Tristan Wirfs, who was drafted by the Bucks, to stand in there and protect Big TB.
Take Tom Brady.
So I think that was a nice pick. I also feel like Tom Brady was picking these people. Like I feel like they let him draft everybody. They're like,
I'm
yeah,
surprised that he didn't have a camera in his house.
yeah, he probably wanted one.
He probably did.
But I think that was a very good pick because they know they have to protect Tom Brady, give him some time. So I think that was a quality pick. Then we go to San Francisco, who traded up to get Javon Kinlaw, the number 2 defensive tackle, like in the draft. 6'5", 324. This man is an animal. 6'5". That's a huge human being. Oh my goodness. But that could be nice for the 49ers. I would have drafted a quarterback if I were.
Yeah, I'm
them.
trying to think. I don't know if that was like a need.
You would have drafted a quarterback?
I don't believe in Jimmy G, bro.
What?
Need to scratch it and start over.
Okay.
Their
that's
running
interesting.
game got them to the Super Bowl, bro.
It did.
Okay.
Unless they're planning on signing one of the free agents that's out there, which Jameis Winston's off the market now.
You
Yeah.
said off the market?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Saints.
Signed with the Saints.
Oh, keep up, Busy Bird. Come on.
When did this happen?
This morning.
Warner.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I woke up right before this. So.
Yep.
Oh,
A 1-year deal.
see, we got a whole bunch of quarterbacks now, and
Yeah, I have
Oh,
two.
I
really?
would say, what do you mean two?
Who the
They
bunch?
just drafted. They just drafted a QB yesterday.
We got a little
Well,
Taysom Hill replacement.
I don't think Taysom Hill is ever going to be their starter. So I think they're going to go with Breeze and then right into Jameis Winston.
Well, we have Taysom Hill till 2021.
He's
But
going to continue to be everything else.
Everything else, but
honestly,
Everything
I
else.
don't care. That's what he's good at.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, when we drafted the QB for Mississippi State yesterday, I was like scratching my head, but then I was like, Sean Payton got some up his sleeve. It's gonna be a 3 QB set somewhere.
They're not going to draft a quarterback if they don't have a use for him, kind of thing. Because the Saints wouldn't waste a draft pick like that.
Yeah. So I just know something. They have something up their sleeve. But
Kinda. I can see that.
you just hate him.
I'm not hating. I just feel like when you get Jameis Winston, the other two guys just go away.
Do
Like,
they or do they step in and they
they probably gonna compete.
Your backup is Jameis Winston, and your starter's Drew Brees. I don't see Taysom Hill challenging Jameis Winston for a QB job because he's a better receiver. And then the guy from Mississippi State, he's a rookie, so they still have to develop him. So maybe that's what they were going for. But I think your future is probably with Jameis.
That's crazy. I really didn't know that they signed Jameis though. I will say he got LASIK, so I'm
He's gonna show out in New Orleans. Going from Tampa Bay, where for a lot of time he was the only thing they had until they had like Mike Evans, but it was just him, to the Saints where they have
as long as he don't come in the Superdome trying to do this again, I'll be fine. As long as he leave that where it's at.
Oh, that is so funny. Good old Jameis. Always entertaining. If he's nothing else, he's entertaining. So.
I don't know if y'all ever heard him like off the field or anything, but he's a really cool, like, just like a down to earth kind of guy. He just does some really stupid things sometimes.
That's a fact.
Most of it.
So at number 15, Jerry Jeudy was drafted by the Broncos.
good pick. Good pick.
Drew Lock's going to have a field day next year.
I think the Broncos had some decent draft picks too.
They did.
Mm-hmm.
They also have Cortland Sutton already, so
Drew Lock is excited about that.
he's gonna have a field day. So, offense for the Broncos, I'm expecting it's gonna be really good this season. But they were decent last season anyway. So.
Were they?
Decent. Not like great, but they weren't. They definitely weren't bad.
So they have a lot of weapons on their offense. I guess after the first round, we can start going to teams and just looking at their overall draft picks, because this is kind of tedious. But
It is, and it's taking a long time.
yes.
Let's just go a little bit faster.
Okay, so AJ Terrell.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
He's not terrible, but he's not elite.
He
It was not a first round pick. Like, that's not what I would have done.
As soon as this man got drafted, I got on Twitter and everybody was talking about how he got burned in the championship game.
But had he not got burned in that game, I'd be like, okay, good pick. He was a good corner all season. But based off that last game, it I don't know.
I
But
don't
then
know
I'm
either.
looking like we needed a corner, and there was really no one else available.
No.
So
I don't know. Somebody was available because it says that he was ranked number 6 at his position in the draft.
okay, so the next corner taken was the one from Ohio State, Damon Arnett. Don't feel
He
like
was
he
at
would.
number 7.
Yeah, he was
he was
number
number
7,
7. What are these cornerbacks hard
and then
at?
the one from Auburn, whose name I can't pronounce, is number 8,
Noah Igabiganogomi.
and then Jeff
What are they
Gladney
doing?
from TCU, he was number 4, but I wouldn't take Gladney
Yeah,
because one
Gladney is
thing,
little. He's little.
yeah, Henderson at least has size and speed. He has athletic
Man,
ability.
that don't matter. When he was at TCU, he was terrible. But
So I mean, there was really no other corners that we could have went with. I
we
wish we
could
maybe
talk about a corner that went later on.
then we would have been laughing stock even further because they were like, "Why'd you pick this person who wasn't
Well,
considered to be in the first
maybe
He's
he
round?"
probably
didn't
going to be a
see-
laughing stock regardless. I mean,
I don't see how you talk down on my team as if your team's successful or something. I don't understand it.
because we did great in this draft. Thank you. We did a lot better than you did. A lot better than you did.
Well, we'll see how it translates on the field because you guys always
We
find a
sure
way to blow
will.
it.
We
I was
should-
about to say because y'all Ezekiel Elliott,
you guys
Dak
find a way.
Prescott, I mean, come on.
Our offense is just as good as you guys' offense if we're just comparing offenses.
Why did you say that?
See,
Okay.
you're going based off an offensive pick.
Why did
But
you say that?
Next pick.
All right, so that leads us to
Next
the
pick.
Cowboys. CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb.
Big
Who would
pick
have
for
thought?
them.
Who would have
I
thought?
was actually excited for them by getting CeeDee Lamb because
It's a great pick.
they talk so much trash about Amari Cooper not being elite when he's really a dog, but
He's elite. They just don't know what they're doing out there.
yeah, exactly. So you got CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper. So
And
this year is
Michael.
definitely
Gallup.
That's 3 wide receivers who can just go burn anybody. Like,
okay. So that
So
is
there,
true.
there should be no excuses when you guys, blow
You're right.
it again.
There should be none. If Dak doesn't do what he needs to do this season, then he's lost my faith. Because
It's either-
there's no way you cannot do well.
Are you already trying to throw Dak under the bus?
Because if he has 3 elite wide receivers, that's got to be him. And
He
we
had
got-
said-
enough last season.
You
That's
said
no
Dak
excuse.
was
That's
elite.
no
You
excuse.
you
But
just
we
said
had
last
that
week
coach,
that Dak
but we
was
had a bad
good.
coach. I do think Dak is good, but I'm saying if he doesn't perform well this season, then he won't be good.
Did you notice how it went from being Dak's fault to back to being the coach's fault just that fast?
No,
Cowboys fans are something else.
last season. A lot of that was coaching. I'm saying if he doesn't do well this season, then it's on Dak. That's literally what I was saying.
Okay, so CeeDee Lamb
Oh,
It's a
geez.
good pick.
is gonna go to Dallas and either make them, or he's just gonna be another person for Dak Prescott to close his eyes and throw the ball to. So, I mean,
I
We'll
think
see.
they'll be good. They'll be all right.
I don't want to
I think they have a
out
good
for 'em
coach.
and then they go out there and embarrass me.
They have a good coach. I think they'll be okay. Cowboys fans have a reason to be excited.
Okay, I'm gonna skip a few picks. The Dolphins win offensive tackle. We talked about the Raiders picking up the cornerback from Ohio State. The Jags picked up Chason from LSU, offensive linebacker.
They went all defense like they always do. I don't know.
And this is where I am rooting for the Eagles. They picked up Jalen Rieger. Is that how you pronounce it?
Honest opinion, Justin Jefferson is a much better prospect, and don't know why he dropped so low. Because I honestly would rather have Justin Jefferson over Rieger and
Yeah,
I can
Ruggs.
tell y'all, I watched Jalen Rager. I'm a TCU fan. I watched Jalen Rager for the 2 years he was at TCU, and there's a reason he left TCU early, is because he has speed that not a lot of other receivers have. That's why he was such a high prospect. But one of the things I learned about him was he had a lot of meetings with the Cowboys, so that's who I thought they were going to take in the first round. Since the season ended this year, which theirs ended early because they didn't go to a bowl, he has done what he said, 800 push-ups Just push-ups alone. He's done 800 push-ups a day since the end of the season,
But
up until the draft. Yes, a day.
That's good work ethic. You know, you got to put the work in. But
And
still,
he's
Justin Jefferson, I cannot defend the
And he,
Eagles.
dude, Justin
Justin,
Jefferson is good, but he was definitely no CD Lamb or like I've said that
I,
all season that he wasn't that great. I mean, he's good, but
I think he's the third best in the draft, third best receiver behind Judy and Lamb. And then he might have a better season than Lamb because Lamb is the third option over there. So Justin Jefferson
he's
coming in,
definitely not the first option in Minnesota.
who's the first option?
Are you serious? Adam? Did you forget about him?
Okay, well,
You, you just
he
shrugged him
he.
off like he was a scrub.
I'm not saying he's a scrub, but all right, Adam is great. Adam is great.
Yeah, Adam is pretty decent, bro.
Okay, he's top two options. Then they're gonna throw to either one of those two, him or Adam. So
And
I think
I mean, they still have that tight end too. Who, I mean, it's
I
just
like
how to
Jefferson.
work
I
it out.
I just think I've seen him play, and he's physical. He can go up and get it, and he has dominated. So I just think over just those two receivers in particular, I don't know. But Lamb and Judy for sure, I can understand him not going over those two guys. But Jalen and Ruggs, we'll see.
Uh,
I feel like the Eagles have a very specific idea of where they want their team to go.
They
So I
have to.
think instead of picking off of like popularity or whatever, I think they specifically I think they know what they're doing.
They
yeah,
yeah,
I think
they must be going with a faster pace because they got a faster guy. But like me personally, I just always think that bigger receivers are better because you can't coach size. And
I,
there's
the
it's
Eagles
just
really. I hope they have a plan because after their second round, I had no idea what direction they're going.
I
they
think
could have something that we
I think
don't
that's
see.
their plan. They always they're not worried about us trying to figure out what they have going on, but they definitely have a plan. With Coach Doug over there, they know what they're doing.
that's crazy. He used to coach at Calvary, but let's see. I'm trying to get to all the relevant draft picks in the first round. I mean, the Chargers picked up Kenneth Murray, but who cares? The Saints drafted Cesar Ruiz, which
Good
is
pick.
I feel like a
A lot
good
of
pick.
people were upset, but they need a center, so you gotta do what you gotta
I
do.
mean, people
There's nothing
that
to
get
be
upset
upset.
don't understand football.
Yeah,
Like
that's true.
that was clearly the best center in the draft. This man is 6'3", 307. I mean, one of the best to do it in college is at that position. So
It just
that
wasn't
was,
popular or showy, so people were like, "Oh, why they do that?"
and then San Francisco drafted Brandon Ayuk. And it makes more sense now that they were trading Marquise Goodwin and, you
And they
know,
need someone to replace like Emmanuel Sanders and stuff like that.
yeah, and they also were getting rid of Goodwin. They were trading Matt Breida. I don't know what they got going over there.
Which is kind of weird because he
Yeah,
was
because
good.
he made their offense last
He
year.
really made the offense last year, so I'm confused as to what the 49ers are doing. But
That's what I was saying. You might as well start over and get a new QB now too. You're getting rid of everything else.
it's like they got rid of everything that worked for them.
Okay, now this is the big one in the first round that to me was like kind of funny because Green Bay drafted Jordan Love, threw everybody for a loop.
Yeah.
And I also have read several articles about Aaron Rodgers being upset
Yeah.
because they promised him that they were getting him some help in the first round, like some weapons to throw to, and then they drafted another
He
quarterback.
got him a replacement instead.
Because that's what they did whenever they drafted Aaron Rodgers originally, because Brett Favre was on the way out the door. And so if they start noticing that Rodgers is on the decline, they're going to be like, all right, it's time to find a good one.
hmm
And they're
That's
just going to
that was really questionable to me.
He would
But
have still been on the board, I
he's
think.
not even on the climb though. Aaron Rodgers, I don't think he's on the climb though. He literally just has no help because they refuse to give him help. So, and it's like obviously they want to move in a new direction because they just got a new coach, and I I don't know. That
I
could just
don't.
kind of seal the deal for Aaron Rodgers.
They had a
Nah. I think he's still
he
their
had
quarterback.
He might still be their
not so
quarterback,
good.
but I just don't understand why you don't draft a QB if you're gonna draft a QB in the draft in the second round, because nobody's really
Yeah.
picking quarterbacks in the first round.
No
Like
one's really taking him.
you could maybe I'm thinking that one of the wide receivers that they were looking at probably got picked up. Like I'm thinking that they were expecting somebody like CeeDee Lamb or Jerry Jeudy to still be available, and
I'm not sure why they expected that.
I'll say like later
they
on, like
traded up to get the number 26 pick. So I
mhm.
don't.
That means this is calculated. They knew what they wanted. They traded up
That's
to that quarterback that would have
it
suited
doesn't make
there.
sense that they didn't really get to a wide receiver early on because that was one of their biggest needs. They need wide receivers.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, um, before we get into that, I would like to say the Ravens drafted so good. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's ridiculous
It was
how they
good.
already have a great team and they drafted so great. But we'll get to that in a second. They picked up Patrick Queen, inside linebacker from LSU in the first round, and it was really just cornerback, offensive tackle. But the last pick of the first round really threw me for a loop
I was
because
Great pick.
so shocked. But like I don't know why I was shocked because I knew that the Chiefs needed a running back. But I just kind of forgot about that, I guess.
Great pick.
I
It was phenomenal.
I was thinking that Swift from Georgia was definitely gonna get picked in that spot, and I think he thought that too because he tweeted something. I forgot what he tweeted, but he tweeted something showing that he was unhappy with that pick. But I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire is gonna be a tough running back in the league just because he showed so much toughness at LSU. Nobody believed that he was gonna be who he was when he left there.
I think that's a
So
really, really, really good pick.
yeah, that's really
Because he
exciting to see
fits
that.
well in that like style of play that they have, and that was good. I wasn't expecting it, but that was good.
Okay, so now because that took so long, we can just start talking about each team and which team would y'all like to start with evaluating their draft picks?
I'm gonna
I
just go
want to.
alphabetical. Go alphabetical.
I
I
feel like
kind of
we
want
should
to
do like
roast the Bears.
Hmm?
I want to roast the Bears.
Okay.
okay.
Bears? Okay.
Start with the
The
Bears.
Bears have just never been good at drafting.
Forgot the Bears were a team, low key.
We definitely should have went alphabetical.
So Chicago Bears, they okay, I would first
Why
like to
don't I
say
see
that
that? Oh, never mind.
they needed offensive picks. They have oh my goodness, they have what's his name? Defensive end. One of the best defensive ends in the league right now. Khalil Mack.
Little Mac,
They have Khalil Mack.
sack master.
Their first pick was Cole Kmet, 6'6", 262, tight end from Notre Dame. That
Okay,
that's a good pick.
so I don't know if y'all saw. Um, they drafted. You said that was in the first round.
That was in the second round.
Okay, the Bears have 10 tight ends on their depth chart
Oh my
Yeah, I saw that.
for
now.
what?
That's
So I don't know what their plan is. I don't know what their spread's gonna be.
I hope their plan is to get rid of some people.
Yeah, I was about to say they're
Oh my
probably about to
goodness.
go release like crazy.
Like if you're a tight end and you play for Chicago right now, start packing your bags.
For
Because
real though. It's a little bit
so
too crowded over there.
they had
Trying to
two.
create a reality show.
Their second pick in the second round was Jalen Johnson, a cornerback out of Utah. I guess that's a good pick. Then they go offensive linebacker. This dude doesn't even have a picture, but he played at Tulsa.
They should have drafted
Cornerback,
a quarterback, if we're being honest.
wide receiver. They
So
drafted a wide receiver from Tulane in the fifth round. See how that goes. Offensive tackle, offensive guard. Um, if you ask me, I don't think they drafted that well. I mean, they drafted well for the defense, but that's not where they need the most help
I
at.
don't think any of this was really a need for them, so I think they drafted pretty bad.
Especially on offense. I mean, the tight end might have been their best offensive pickup. 'Cause,
Yeah, they should have drafted a quarterback.
So
And
as
all-
far
Oh, but they have Nick Foles. I forgot about Nick Foles.
Do you think they? I think they actually believe in Nick Foles, which I think has the potential.
I think a lot of people have made that mistake in the past,
Losing
believing in
to
Nick
Nick
Foles.
Foles. I mean, you saw what he did in Philly.
Yes, but what has he done since then?
Apparently
Okay,
to where people keep believing in him.
Arizona. Let's talk about
so okay, Arizona. They got given the grade of an A. I'm gonna agree with it, just because they did get some good help.
the majority of their picks were definitely on the defensive side of the ball.
Oh,
And then considering that they got another offensive tackle, they got Hopkins, and then they got a good linebacker. I like the A. I think it's deserved.
I got another running back because
And they got another running back.
They don't have a running back right now, do they? They drafted. I mean, didn't they trade their best running back for D Hop?
yeah, they did. No, yeah, they
They
did.
traded their best receiver for Hop.
I think it was
David Johnson.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, yeah.
best receiver. That's Larry Fitzgerald. Come on now.
Oh yeah, true.
So yeah, if their defense isn't stout this year, then they wasted some draft picks.
It should be. I think they'll be not impressive, but I think they'll be fine. I think it'll be a lot better than last season. Progress. Oh.
Right here it says that they met all their needs for a wide receiver, but I mean they have Larry Fitzgerald and D
Fitz is old though. He's still great.
Yeah, I was
but
about to say, you keep saying that, but he's getting up there.
Larry Fitzgerald has been old for a few seasons now, and nobody can stop him still. It's to me.
But I
he's
think
like,
they needed something to they need to start
little speed,
coming up
give a
with
little
another
speed.
plan.
well, we'll see. We'll see what they.
Don't-
But they would have. I don't know. They didn't have a draft pick in the second round. They used their first round pick on Isaiah Simmons, so they probably wouldn't have had much to choose from if they were just trying to draft a QB. I mean, not QB, a wide receiver.
That's true. That's fair.
So next up would be Atlanta.
C minus.
Pick on day one, probably like a C, but on day two they got rated. I'm sorry, day one they got a B. Day two they were given an A. I don't agree with day one, but I like day two.
Day two,
We got Auburn's
Marlon
defensive.
Davidson,
Yeah, I like that pick. I thought that was a great pick. And then
Matt
the center,
Hennessy.
I
Yeah,
like that pick too.
y'all need a center.
So I like both of the day two picks. Day one was just the one that was kind of a head scratcher. But then again, if he plays well, then maybe he could prove everybody wrong. But we're always
They
kind of
drafted
counting
a
him out.
punter. That was funny. Jalen Hawkins though isn't bad. The safety from Cal.
You know what we should have done, which I wish we would have, was if we are gonna get a safety, we could have potentially got Xavier McKinney
Yeah.
or even Del Pitt. We had the opportunity to get either one of those guys, and we went cornerback. And so I'm not
And
understanding.
then y'all didn't even go the best cornerback.
Well, there was
That's-
no cornerback on the board
That's
after.
Yes,
That's
it
the
was
thing
if he
with
was
me,
number
though.
3.
Look, you should have drafted a safety at that
They
point.
should have drafted Xavier
Del Pitt
McKinney.
and McKinney,
We
they're
should have
just
drafted Xavier.
you can't pass up on those
we
especially for who you passed up on him for.
but it's what I'm saying. Like they just went with their need instead of going with I don't know. I think you can find a solid corner anywhere, but hey,
Because
um,
think about it, especially in y'all's division, there's some raw wide receivers in this division.
exactly.
And
So they do need a corner for sure with
but
who's in
they
the
need a
division.
safety to look over top
They
just because
do.
because
They
there's not a
do.
lot of people that can hold these wide receivers. Not even like you have Mike Evans. A lot of people can't win one on one with Mike Evans.
Exactly. I think they kind of fell in love with his size and his potential. But then again, I also think that we're all kind of counting him out because of that last game against LSU.
Yeah, true.
We're just gonna have to
I'm good.
see.
Yeah,
Everyone just we kind of just make it seem like as he's already played. So I'll wait. I won't speak on him until I see something first. The next is Baltimore.
Baltimore.
They got an
that's
A.
A for
They
Oh
got
my
everything.
goodness.
A for
they got a lot of
Oh
everything.
my
picks.
goodness.
They got a lot of picks.
Dude, they got so many picks, and not only did they get a lot of picks, they were quality picks. Patrick Queen, we already talked about that. J.K. Dobbins,
J.K.
who
Dobbins is
left
my
this man on the
favorite
clock
pick.
that long?
Who
This man
needed a
was on
And
running
the
back?
board.
he's going to be out there with Mark Ingram and Lamar Jackson. That's you just can't get any more solid.
Dude,
Yeah,
whoever,
they did what they had to do.
if there was a team in this draft that passed up on running backs that absolutely needed a running back, somebody need to take their phone or, something because
I don't think
J.K.
anybody really
Dobbins,
needed one though.
I would have picked him up just so the Ravens didn't pick him.
There's
Like, that
some
don't make
people
no sense.
like, okay, the Chiefs, it would have been the only person I would have been okay with them taking over who they did was J.K. Dobbins because he was a solid running back at
I
Ohio
feel
State.
like I
I
feel
like
like
Hilaire.
Hilaire was better in their system though.
Yeah, that's probably why they did it. Had to
Yeah, I
be.
was about to
I
say
feel like
because
he fits
J.K.
way better.
I don't know, man. J.K. Dobbins is a dog, but they picked up I don't want to butcher his last name, the
Mhm.
defensive tackle. They already have a crazy defensive line, and picking him up, that's just unfair.
It was really
Even
just flexing on us the whole time because they're like, we'll take.
He's got like, I mean, he's scary build wise, and this is just adding that to an already good defensive line.
then they picked up Devin Duvernay from Texas, who was
That
decent. He
he
was
is.
decent.
I feel like he was one of the most underrated wide receivers in the NCAA. He was really good.
How did
I'm
they
Once
just
so many picks?
inside linebacker from Ohio State, offensive tackle to help Lamar out even more. Like they needed anybody else on the offensive line. Another offensive guard, defensive tackle. James Proche. I didn't really watch him at SMU, so I can't really speak on him about how well he plays. Actually, I don't know. I can't speak on him.
like he's kind of smaller and he doesn't really have a lot of like the physical build. He's 5'11" and 201 pounds, so he's really kind of small, but he's really good at catching the balls and at catching balls and making uncontested catches or contested catches. Because he was one of the reasons that SMU went like undefeated for almost the half the season this year.
Then they ended with safety from Iowa, Geno Stone. Not a bad pick either. He's a little small, but you know, it's the NFL. If you don't gain some weight, then he ain't doing something right. So next would be Buffalo,
Mm-hmm.
and I think the pick that kind of threw me off was Jake Fromm, but
I feel like it
I
was
think
good for them.
I think they said it was something to where like he it was just too good to pass up. Like he was still there in the fifth round, almost sixth round. So I
I
mean,
I think he's at best he was worth a fourth round. So where they got him at is probably where he should have went.
There just wasn't a lot of room for
My-
quarterbacks.
My thing for quarterbacks, I don't like how in today's system they kind of get you early and they expect you to come in and be successful, but all the greats had to sit and wait. It was a process of learning. And I think that teams are so used to trying to win now that they've kind of taken that out. But all the great quarterbacks that we can name right now have all had to come in and learn at some point. Every one of them.
Pat Mahomes.
I was about to say that.
Was that his rookie season?
Yeah.
2 seasons ago?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
He was the dog his rookie season.
I mean, not but he's exception. He's just that great.
Lamar Jackson. I mean, Lamar Jackson did have to
He's-
sit.
So he did
He
have
sat. Lamar Jackson sat for a minute and he put in work in the offseason.
Yeah, but
It's very hard to name quarterbacks that kind of just come in and instantly are successful. Pat Mahomes is one. Russell Wilson.
You have a point.
Deshaun Watson.
Oh yeah, he didn't sit.
he hasn't.
But he's had some playoff wins, which is not bad for his youth.
It's just the injuries that like keep killing him.
Yeah, but the rest of them that I'm thinking of off the top of my head have all set.
But for the Bills, I like AJ Espinza for them because they already have some nice DBs, but he was number 3 ranked in his position, 6'5", 275. Like one of the best defensive ends in the draft, and they picked him up. So I feel like that's going to be a really nice touch for them. Zach Moss, running back from Utah, he had a year last year, really good year. Gabriel
Who
Davis.
was their running back? I mean, who is?
They had a really old guy. What's his name?
Frank. Was it Frank Gore?
oh yeah, they had Gore,
Frank
didn't
Gore.
they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Frank Gore. Yeah, so it's
So-
good that they got a running back because he's probably on his way out. But he is good. He's still good though.
And another sleeper for me was Isaiah Hodgins. I don't know if y'all watched him, but he's pretty decent and he's pretty big. He's like 6'4", 2 something. And that was
I'll
one of
tell
their
you-
problems last season. They didn't really have anybody to throw the ball to. So
Mhm.
now they got 2 good wide receivers.
I'll tell you, one of the picks I liked was them getting a kicker because it just wasn't happening last year. Especially, I know during like the Cowboys game last year, their kicker they had was just they needed
He was-
to do
He was
something
the
about
best kicker in the draft.
it. Heck yeah.
So we'll see. Moving on to Carolina. It was definitely all defense for them. Like, no joke.
Yeah. it
All
was.
defense. I mean, Derek Brown, like I said, I'm afraid of that draft pick. Then they got, I don't want to butcher his name, but he was a dog at Penn State. This is a guy who, what was his story? I forgot his story. They kept showing it. But that's this guy.
Backstory.
Yeah, his backstory. It was something with his mom. But he was really, really good. 6'5", 266. They got a safety from Southern Illinois. Cornerback, safety, defensive tackle, cornerback. They got to do some off-season moves with their offense, though, because
Yeah, I was just surprised that they didn't get any offensive help and like kind
That
of
see,
struggled with, I guess.
they
I
need
think-
wide receivers.
I think Matt Rule kind of like trusts the offense, but all these defensive picks, these are all like in the at least the top 15 in their respective positions.
Mm-hmm.
But like when you get later on in the 6th round, when they drafted Bravion Roy from Baylor, that was a Matt Rule pick. He wanted to pick one of his players coming from the school he'd just come from.
I could see it. So if they play their cards right this offseason with the offense, they might be, top 3 in the South Division.
Only 14. That's not that good.
I mean,
But I suppose.
rather be top 3 than last, right? So next would be Cincinnati going to the Bengals. And I think their first 2 draft picks for me, like everybody expected Joe Burrow, but T. Higgins, that got me so excited. Like you don't understand.
Yeah, that was a good pick for them.
T. Higgins was crazy at Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
I'm excited to see him with Joe Burrow. That's going to be interesting to watch.
I
That
bet
was
they're
my
excited
biggest-
for each other.
Hmm?
Like,
I
be able to work with
wanted
each other.
Joe Burrow to have a weapon.
Wait, what'd you say?
So my biggest concern was I wanted to make sure Joe Burrow had people to throw to when he got there.
Oh yeah, I'm hoping and praying that AJ Green is healthy this season.
Yeah.
Because if AJ Green is healthy, that changes everything. If he's healthy and stays healthy, because he's still arguably one of the best wide receivers if he's healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, then they went on to draft inside linebacker from Wyoming, outside linebacker, defensive end, offensive tackle. They didn't draft bad.
In terms of their needs, they got everything they need.
It's really good. Cool.
Okay, someone,
That scared me.
I keep getting notifications, and then my phone vibrates and falls off my little thing I have it onto right now.
Is that a music stand, Cole?
It is.
That was funny.
20 things.
So I don't think they'll go 2-14 again.
Oh, hopefully not.
So
There's no
I
way.
hope they win at least 5 games. I don't know. I think they'll do well though. They just have to, work that system out over there, get everything straight.
I think they can really turn it around.
Yeah, if they do, I think it'll be scary.
So, don't they have a pretty easy schedule?
Um,
I'm not for
Well, I
sure.
mean, they play in the AFC North, so it's about as easy as it gets.
unless you're in never mind. I won't go there. Cleveland Browns.
Oh, I was so disappointed that Grant Delpit went to the Browns.
Are you?
Okay.
You know they love
I
to
think it's-
draft good DBs from LSU.
I know, but they just keep wasting them.
They actually got some good picks.
Think
They
about
just
it.
all they need is a quarterback.
Well, I
All they
just
need.
Think about it.
the Browns system is just terrible. Like they can't get their stuff together. And, like they can't hire a good GM. They can't hire a good coach. They signed a coach for a whole year last year and then fired him after the year and blamed it all on him.
But think
No.
about it. Think about it. They lose games not because of their defense, but because they can't score.
Baker Mayfield. That's the problem.
Like
Yeah,
they
but
can't
they
score.
didn't do any. They haven't done anything to change that.
Yeah, if they get rid of him,
Like,
they'd
where
be a whole
dreams
different
go
team.
to die.
Think about their defense though. They have Greedy from LSU last year. They have they have Grant Delpit now. They also have the other DB from oh my goodness, I gotta go look it up. But they have another DB that they drafted early on too. I want to say he went to Ohio State or Iowa.
And they got LSU's linebacker.
Yes, and then they still have Julius Pepper. I mean, not Julius Peppers. Wait, is that his name? The dude that went to Michigan and played literally everything. They drafted him too.
I mean, they got defense. They need a quarterback. That's all they need because they have
But the
offensive
defense
weapons
is
too.
not like the issue. Like I hear what you're saying, but
The
what
issue is Baker.
if they keep losing?
I say
Baker.
they need to pick up. Ooh, what if they picked up Cam Newton? Oh my god.
See, I was saying They need to stray away from drafting quarterbacks because there's so many good ones on the market right now.
They
Mhm.
need to just Baker Mayfield needs to be
Get
playing in the XFL or something, bro.
That's
He's
not a thing anymore.
exactly.
Because they have too many offensive
Exactly.
weapons for him not to be successful. You still got Chubb. You still have two of the top 5 receivers
So
on
I
one
want to
team.
know what is it gonna take for them to realize that hey, we have all these offensive weapons. Before we let Odell Beckham leave us, let's just get somebody that can throw them the ball. They have
Well,
Jarvis Landry.
what if
Like
the Browns are just bad luck though? What if they get Cam Newton and he flops over there
I
too?
don't
It
think
wouldn't
How do
happen.
you save the
Wouldn't happen.
Browns?
I don't
It
think it's
wouldn't
bad
happen.
luck. I just
They
think
picked
like
a bad quarterback, and we all knew it was a bad quarterback from day one. There was no reason to pick this kid. They picked somebody that was popular, a Heisman Trophy winner, and it backfired. Just like when they picked Johnny Manziel, they just don't know how to pick quarterbacks.
if you think about it though, two terrible picks.
Exactly.
Two terrible
That
picks.
everyone seemed to call these terrible picks except for them. They just was like, oh, we're gonna try it out and see what
Like Johnny
happens.
Manziel was a problem child in college, so
Forget problem child. He wasn't an excellent passer. He closed his eyes and throw it up to Mike Evans, and Mike
Randy.
Evans was going out and grabbing it.
Then I don't even understand why they drafted Baker Mayfield
Heisman Trophy
because
winner
he won the Heisman, but he was
from
a great
Ohio,
college
Oklahoma.
quarterback. He was a great college
I
quarterback.
didn't like him in college.
But not everybody can make that transition and just play well in the NFL.
In that Georgia game, he kind of got exposed. That his last college game, he got exposed a little bit. But they still went for it. But I feel like if they ever just get rid of Baker like this season or next, and they just bring in somebody else, they will be a completely different team. Because there's too many weapons. You literally just close your eyes and just pick a side to throw to, and you got a weapon.
And I forgot that they drafted another inside linebacker from LSU and Jacob Phillips, and he was pretty decent too.
LSU, they had tied the record for most draft picks from a school in NFL history.
14. That's crazy.
The SEC just by itself.
Yeah,
I
they
don't
broke that
remember
record.
the end number, but last time I heard them say something about it, it was like 19 or something maybe.
Oh, it's more than 19.
It's way more than 19
Definitely more
last
than
time I heard
19.
it. Because I think, well, I don't know.
It's not even
LSU
fair
got
though.
I
14.
think this
Bama got
9 players
9.
came from Alabama.
And then Auburn had a few.
Auburn had
Florida
like
had
5.
Florida had like 2 or 3.
Well, I think when I heard that, it was like 19 and it was like either early in the second round or something like
Yeah,
that.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Strongest conference by 4.
No, it's not even a question anymore. Like
It's deep.
nobody's beating any. I mean, the SEC is always going to be tough just because they're tough right now. Nobody else wants to go to a school in the Big Ten or like the ACC. Like nobody wants to go to school there. If you want to get drafted, you go to the SEC. So
Well, okay, yeah.
Dallas.
Yes, sir. A plus, A plus, A
A
plus, A plus.
Okay, CeeDee Lamb.
Things we do right.
Trayvon
We did this
Diggs.
stuff right.
Trayvon Diggs was big for y'all because
Mhm.
absolute steal.
y'all's secondary is always buns.
And we just got rid of Byron Jones, who was like the
Who's
little
like-
bit of hope we had left.
Watch he go to the Dolphins and cut up though. I just see that happening. Defensive tackle from Oklahoma,
Good.
6'2", 304. He was good. Cornerback, drafted another cornerback in Reggie Robinson,
Who's
Tulsa. They traded up in the 4th round to get the center from Wisconsin. Who
That's
was
that
the 3rd best center in the draft.
was my favorite pick.
definitely needed that for sure.
It was a steal.
And then the defensive end from Utah.
That was the one that did it for me.
He could be good. He could be good.
He
And
was,
then
But then
Dak
y'all
Prescott
drafted
replaced.
quarterback from James Madison.
Yeah.
I mean, we definitely needed a backup quarterback. So, oh, he doesn't even have a picture.
I do feel like if you're confident
James
that you're gonna
Madison.
get Dak back, you go and like, all right, we're gonna find a good prospect from the FCS because James Madison has an amazing football program. So
Yeah.
it's like the same when Wentz went to the Eagles, but he went number 2 just because it was from North Dakota State.
All right. So after that would be Denver, and Denver drafted pretty well.
They did. Had a lot of picks too.
Jerry Judy. My favorite was KJ Hamler. I don't know if y'all kept up with KJ Hamler at Penn State, but that dude he's short, but he's so fast. And as soon as he gets the ball, it's end zone or bust pretty much. So I like
They
that pick.
have Judy, Hamler, and Sutton now. It's just like, and they drafted another wide receiver from
From Florida, Tyree Cleveland.
So it's just like,
And they drafted a tight end from Missouri who is so 6'6", 258. Oh my
Good.
goodness.
yeah, they really didn't have to go that hard, but they did.
Yes.
So.
Yes, they did have to go that far. I feel like
they didn't have to do it to us like that.
Melvin Gordon, I thought it was pretty weird when he went to the Broncos, but I feel like he went to the front office and was like, hey, I came here because I want to play the Chargers 2 games a year, but I not only want to play them, I want to beat them. So I feel like he was like, we need some help. Like, they've been, because we know that they have a good organization. Like, Peyton Manning went there, won a Super Bowl. So I know they're capable of it.
I think they're like, I'm done. We're done losing. Like, it's time to get back up there.
I feel like it was a lot of teams that were, like, drafting like they were tired of losing, but I think they'll be one of the few teams that actually, do well with all their draft picks. They got a cornerback from Iowa. He wasn't the best cornerback in the draft at all, but he played well at Iowa last season. They traded up to get the center from LSU, who was the second ranked center in the draft, 6'3", 312. So that was a nice pick. The tight end, they have a defensive tackle from Arkansas, who's also huge. They drafted evenly, offensively and defensively.
Well, when you got that many picks, it's kind of hard not to. I mean, they had a lot of picks.
Yeah, they did have a lot of picks. That's crazy. So, next we have Detroit. And I think they drafted pretty well too. I just would have liked to see them take a chance on a quarterback because I don't like Matthew Stafford.
I'll forever be unimpressed with anything the Lions do until they get rid of Matthew Stafford.
Because they had arguably one of the top 10 wide receivers, best wide receivers of all time, and Calvin Johnson. And this man retired because he was tired of being there.
The Lions is just ain't it.
But they got Jeff Okudah. They got DeAndre Swift, which is probably the best running back they've had there in, 10 years, if you ask me. I mean, they had Reggie Bush, but even when Reggie Bush was there, he wasn't at his best. Like, he wasn't primetime Reggie Bush.
They're good at sucking the life out of people.
That's facts. They're one of those people that need to take a chance on one of these free agent quarterbacks too. They drafted a lot of offensive linemen. Well, not a lot, but a couple offensive linemen. Outside linebacker, wide receiver, running back. After their first 2 picks, or their first 3 picks actually, because the outside linebacker from Notre Dame was pretty good. But after that, no really, huge names. But I agree when y'all say about Matthew Stafford. I don't think there'll be anything until he's out of there.
Yeah. So I'm unimpressed. Which I mean, they did good. They drafted well, I guess, for what they need, but probably not going to matter much.
All right. So Green Bay. We already kind of talked about Green Bay because they traded up to get Jordan Love. They drafted AJ Dillon from Boston College. I mean, eh,
They didn't get any receivers.
yeah, they didn't get any. And that's the thing that's probably why Aaron Rodgers is so upset because I've heard that he's expressed that like he was not happy with it. But you can't tell your starting QB that you're gonna get him some help and then
And then not
draft
getting
a tight end.
Yeah.
That's the only thing y'all draft.
Yeah, that was pathetic. I don't think anybody was happy. Like, Packers fans were mad. Your
I mean,
quarterback is mad. It's just like, that was horrible.
I don't see them having a great year this year.
Definitely not.
I mean, not really much to talk about Green Bay. Houston, eh,
Mm.
eh.
I'll tell you, Ross Blacklock is a huge dude.
Yeah, he's probably the only thing that came. I mean, they got Jonathan Greener, but he disappointed me a couple times at Florida. But I guess he was decent.
I'm upset that they didn't draft offense. Like they got an offensive tackle and a wide receiver in the 5th round, but like you need a wide receiver. You need a wide receiver. You need offensive players because you just got rid of DeAndre Hopkins. You
They
didn't really
got
bring anybody in.
they did get
As
was
in
it Cooks?
Oh, you mean,
They
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 did
got
draft a wide receiver.
no, they didn't draft a wide receiver, but
They,
I think shortly after they traded D Hop, they picked up
they did draft a wide receiver.
Cooks. Well, he went to Rhode Island. Did their games even go on TV? I don't. Come on now.
But they drafted one.
So they still have some work to do over there before they lose Deshaun Watson too.
I'm
The
really
Colts. The Colts. That's another team that drafted well to me.
Michael Pittman.
Michael Pittman, Jonathan Taylor was a dog at Wisconsin.
Yeah,
He was pretty good. They traded up to get Julian Blackman. He was Utah actually had more draft picks than I expected. Like they had quite a few people get drafted. They
solid.
drafted a QB in Jacob Eason, who isn't bad. I mean,
Pretty good.
Washington was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's a really good idea because Philip Rivers is on the verge of retiring, and I feel like you give him maybe 1 or 2 seasons, and then you have another quarterback ready.
Who knows? He probably get benched by the end of this
But
season.
don't they still have Jacoby?
Yes,
Yeah,
but I hear that they're probably not going to keep him.
Huh. I thought he was like decent though.
He was
I
pretty good.
don't really
he kind
understand.
of fell off.
I also heard some rumors that he was going back to the Patriots. I
Hmm.
heard that because that's where he started.
They drafted
And
quarterbacks, so or did they? I don't think that they did.
the
I'd be
Patriots,
so shocked.
no, they didn't draft any QBs, and that's why I said they have to have something up their sleeves because they need a quarterback. Everybody knows that, and they
Mm-hmm.
didn't draft a quarterback, so they clearly have something up their sleeves.
They have to be in talks with somebody right
Yeah,
now.
got to be.
I still feel like I would have got one just in case.
I don't know. Gotta trust the system because I don't. Bill Belichick, if he wanted a QB, they would have got a QB.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
He knows what he's doing, usually, unfortunately.
but the Colts, I'm looking forward to seeing that because you know, they have a few defensive linemen already that are pretty good, but they drafted defensive tackles. They drafted a cornerback, and I want to say they already have a decent linebacker too, who's pretty good. Just can't think of his name right now. We already talked about Jacksonville, kinda. C.J. Henderson. They're the Laviska kid from Colorado is good. He's really good. So that'd be. I mean, and they already have DJ's. What's
Chark,
his name?
DJ Chark.
Stark, yeah, from LSU,
I was about to say they already kind of have a.
and he's good. They just have to figure out a system to get them the ball.
Yeah,
They keep beefing up that defense. Like I just keep looking at these picks.
but they do that all the time, and it never really translates into
Yeah,
anything important. So
they got to work on that offense. I don't understand
yeah,
why they keep replacing things they don't need.
their defense is
About it.
actually decent.
Yeah, if you
They
think about it, they're in the same boat as the Browns. It's just their
could,
QB position because they still have Leonard Fournette in the backfield too.
Mm.
So
I think C.J. Henderson has the potential to like come back and essentially be exactly what Jalen Ramsey was when he was at Jacksonville.
oh yeah,
yeah, yeah, I can see that for sure.
but
Chiefs.
they they drafted pretty well. They met all their needs except for QB. So the Chiefs. I like the Chiefs draft picks just because they drafted the dude from Louisiana Tech,
I was about to say that. Yeah.
and I think it's pretty cool that the two Louisiana Tech dudes that got drafted were drafted back to back. But they were really good. Like the other guy, Robertson, the cornerback, he was a dog over there too.
Mhm.
But Willie Gay Jr. was also a nice snack for them.
Mhm.
But if you think about it, what do they really need on defense? They have a nice defensive line. They have um, I like that they drafted the safety one because they still have Tyrann Mathieu,
Mm.
but he is probably going to be out of there in a few years. Well, I don't know.
Oh
He's,
no.
he's he's getting older, but he can definitely learn something from Tyrann while he's still there. And
I think
Yeah,
their
he
defense is something that could always like use work.
yeah,
It's not a lot that they really needed, and I think they pretty much covered it. I mean, I wouldn't give them a B plus. I would give them an A because like they didn't need a whole lot, and they pretty much filled the gaps that they needed to fill. So
I expect them to be relevant again.
for
Very much so.
for sure.
all right. And we go on. We already kind of talked about the Chargers. Uh,
Right.
Justin Herbert, Kenneth Murray. That's really all that that consists of. They got a couple of wide receivers. Well, they got KJ Hill. So I don't know if y'all saw their tweet about KJ Hill, but it was like right before their draft pick, and I don't know if y'all know that meme where that dude is in the gas station. He was like, "I think I'm about to steal,"
Oh yeah.
and they were like, when KJ Hill is still on the clock in the seventh round, and then they drafted him. I thought that was pretty funny. But KJ Hill, they definitely didn't see him going this late, so I think that was a big pickup for them.
Side note: the media teams for the specific teams were pretty good this draft. They were pretty
Yeah, I
like
can see.
coming
I
out.
can see. I mean, it's kind of like you either keep up with the times or you're just that other organization that isn't funny.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Moving on to the Los Angeles Rams, they almost met all their needs.
I'll give them a
Um,
B.
So
they got Cam Akers,
I don't
who's a part
care.
of that crazy duo last year at Florida State. They had two good running backs that came out of there. They got Van Jefferson from Florida, decent, 6'2", 200 pounds.
not gonna mean much with Jared Goff throwing the ball. I mean,
That's facts.
the Rams are pretty much a bust.
I don't know what to expect from the Rams this year, honestly.
I don't really expect anything, like at all.
They went 9-7 last year. I say they go 7-9 this year, if that.
I just don't see them being a relevant factor at all. And they don't really have any stars on their team that make people want to really keep up with them and watch them and root for them.
They drafted, for the most part, I feel like they drafted some unnecessary positions because their defense, I don't think you should just focus on defense right now. You have
Mhm.
Aaron Donald, you have Jalen Ramsey. So I would have been focusing on offense, honestly, because you go from like having this powerhouse offense a couple of years ago to, nobody you even want to just start on anybody else's offense on your offense. So
Yeah, I mean, they did good drafting the running back, but that's pretty much it.
they need him.
Yeah. It was like the only thing that they did was like, okay, that was good because you actually needed that.
Then we go to Las Vegas. Let's see.
No.
I say they drafted pretty decent. You have Derek Carr, of course. If he stays healthy, I
Why
mean,
is it still a thing?
Derek Carr.
Yeah.
Um,
Like he's never healthy. I think they need a backup plan by now.
they have Marcus Mariota.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Okay, but he's also not healthy. So
I mean,
I feel like they need a backup plan.
I feel like, I don't know. That's a tough one. But Henry Ruggs, if they can get Henry Ruggs the ball, Lynn Bowden Jr. from Kentucky was a nice pickup too. I did not mean to do that. But I like that pick for him. He was, I mean, I don't know.
They still got a quarterback.
Yeah. But they picked up Amik Robertson from Louisiana Tech. That is crazy that he was number 9th ranked at his position and he went to Louisiana Tech. Shout out to him.
Louisiana, man.
They traded up to get him. I love it.
I feel like they made a lot of wasteful moves though. The Henry Ruggs thing is really, I don't know, it's just not sitting right with me. I just feel like it was a waste.
They drafted 3 wide receivers, but if you think about it, they didn't have any more wide receivers left there.
But they also don't have a good quarterback. So
I mean, Derek Carr is just not all bad.
but he's not.
That 1 year before he got hurt the first time, they were going off. Like, everybody was expecting him to come back the next season and repeat, but I think he got hurt again.
I don't know. The Raiders are like a hospital. It's like where injured players just go to rest. And I don't know. I just don't see them doing much this season.
I mean, they had Antonio Brown.
So like I said, a hospital.
It was a mental hospital for him.
Oh Lord. AB. I haven't heard much from him. I wonder how.
Miami. I did like that Miami drafted the dude from ULL, but I also didn't know, like, when I heard about them talking about this dude from Louisiana, I was like, who are they talking about? Then I looked him up. He's 6'5", 323.
So they call ULL just Louisiana?
Yeah, for some odd reason.
I don't know why they do that.
It's
But this
apparently
dude's
the
a
main.
dog.
It's disrespectful.
He's a number 1 ranked offensive guard in the draft. So, I mean, whenever Tua does get in there, they got some pretty decent offensive linemen that's going to be protecting him. So,
which is good. Like, you can tell they did that on purpose.
yeah.
Oh,
So if they don't play him this year, then he'll have this rookie season for him to just, get out there and get after it. I mean, they probably won't do so great, but by the time Tua comes in, he'll be ready.
I feel like the Dolphins had the most well thought out draft because they thought about like longevity. Because I think they know that next season won't be their like breakout season, but they thought about like puzzle pieces that they were gonna need in the later years. So I think they did really good with that.
I think their defense will be a lot better this year, and that was definitely 99.9% of the problem last year. Of course, they didn't really have a great offense, but people were just picking the Dolphins apart for fun.
That's true.
But
But
then
their
that,
offense is gonna be good too. They're the ones who picked up Matt Breida from the 49ers.
oh yeah,
Who's
forgot about that.
10 out of 10 if he can stay healthy, but
Matt
I
Breida. I
can't
still
believe
can't believe they let him go.
the 49ers, I don't know what they're doing, but it can't be good. I feel like they dismantled the team that got them to where they are, and I don't know.
We're gonna see.
We're gonna see.
Then we go to Minnesota, the Vikings. Of course, they picked up Justin Jefferson.
Lots.
Jeff Gladney. I think he's good. He's just a little short. He's a little small.
They get so many picks.
It looks like they traded a lot.
Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of their picks were traded for.
They have 4 seventh round picks and 4 fourth round picks. Like that's
And
I
they,
mean, they
I
got
was about to say, and they didn't
they
draft a
drafted
quarterback, but they
they
did.
drafted like half a team.
They really did. They really did.
And most of them are defensive picks, so I don't know.
It's pretty even. It's like, let's see.
a couple wide receivers, some offensive linemen, the quarterback.
But they have a good
Yeah.
defense, though. They have a good defense. To me, they have one like
And that's
they
how
have
you
a
keep
good
it up.
safety. Then they have a great defensive line.
You just always got to be on your toes.
Yeah.
I think they did really good. They
met all their needs.
they definitely. I mean, with that many picks, how could you not?
If you miss
So
more than that, somebody needs to be fired.
exactly. But I think they did really good because they replaced Stephon Diggs and got some extra.
I just want to know what they had to trade for all of these picks.
I think they sold their souls because this is a lot.
All right, then we go to New England, who drafted a couple tight ends. They're trying to get that defense right. But the big thing that jumps out at me is that they just didn't draft a QB. So I'm anxious to see
Or
what they do.
receiver.
But they like Darius was saying the other day, how they like to run that double tight end formation.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, but I mean, how often is that going to work?
No.
Without like Tom Brady anymore.
I mean, they got some pretty decent tight ends.
Well, as of right now, they don't have a quarterback. I just don't know. I don't know. That would stress me out, still not having a quarterback right now. But the Patriots, they do what they want to do. I mean, he had his dog picking the draft pick. So that tells you how interested he was in this draft and how under control everything seems to be over there.
So, yeah, all they have to do is worry about a QB.
They got a new kicker.
They have a new what?
They got a new kicker to replace Gostkowski.
Wait, where did Gronkowski go?
Or Gostkowski, the kicker. I don't know if he got signed anywhere, but I know they cut it.
I think I don't think he got signed anywhere.
But they got a new kicker to replace him. So that was.
Whenever they do sign a quarterback, though, it probably will break the internet.
Probably, yeah.
It'll break the internet.
Or it'll be very anticlimactic. It's no in between.
It's gonna be like, oh my goodness, or like,
What? Yeah, yeah. But it's
Right.
gonna work. Whatever they do, it's gonna work.
Next we have New Orleans. Uh,
4 picks.
I think they just showed up to the draft just to say they participated.
yeah, I feel like we never really depend on the draft.
No.
I mean, Alvin Kamara, yes. Michael Thomas. But if you think about it, our best players we don't draft. So
It is
I feel
slightly
like
disappointing that y'all didn't get any corners or
it's
safe.
because we just signed some corners.
Humst.
They signed the Jenkins guy back. They brought back what's his face? We still have Marshawn Lattimore. I feel like maybe. Well, actually, I don't know. I mean, there wouldn't have been no good cornerbacks on the table by the time we picked anyway.
No one
But I
ever
feel like we did draft things that we needed.
I
Like
don't know. I just feel like
corner.
y'all's secondary tends to be.
No, they've definitely made some off-season moves.
Well,
I
yeah,
just
because y'all got rid of Apple.
think
What
why
about
Apple was
PJ
terrible.
PJ Williams? Do y'all still have him?
I don't know. I think he's still slapping himself about you know
Yeah,
allowing that touchdown in overtime. But
he should, but
Zach Bond, our defensive line and our offensive linebackers. I mean, our linebackers. I'm tripping. We have some like adding Zach Bond alongside Davis. Like, come on. Like I saw him tweet the after he got drafted because they have the same number, but he said there's no way he's getting number 56. He's not gonna give up number 56. But I think them two alongside each other is gonna be crazy.
yeah, yeah. I think the Saints just it
I
it
did
wasn't
like
very exciting, but like they got what they needed to get.
they did draft an actual because we have tight ends, but we play Taysom Hill at the tight end position a lot,
Mhm.
and our backup tight end was not really a tight end. But I'm glad they did draft Adam Troutman, who is 6'5", 255. Drew Brees is gonna love that target.
For sure.
I'm still thinking about this Tommy Stevens pick. I mean, I want to say he was like the fastest QB in the draft. This Tommy Stevens guy, which is crazy.
I,
But I don't
I
I
don't
don't know. I'm anxious to see what they do with him because he's way faster than Taysom Hill. They might put him out there wide receiver. Sean
know.
Payton.
He's probably not going to play the position that they draft him as. So
And I'm pretty sure he understood that, but I'm pretty sure by like the 26th pick in the 7th round, he was just happy to get picked up.
yeah,
And by a good team.
Yeah. All right, next we have the Giants.
they did pretty good for the.
They also had a lot of draft picks, and they only had to trade for one.
That just tells you that they were.
Compensatory.
um,
But I feel like they did really good for the Giants.
definitely. Andrew Thomas, they needed that offensive tackle for
I
somebody
really
to.
hate that they got Xavier McKinney. I really hate that.
I mean,
I hate that for me.
you just hate that because I just realized that though. You really just had something to say about our defensive backs?
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Yes, I did. But I mean, that's true. Ours sucked too.
No, y'all are terrible over there. Like
Okay, but we're working on it. So
anyway,
my point was that y'all don't seem to be working on it that much.
Xavier McKinney. They got some couple offensive linemen. I mean, they had a lot of picks, but it's not anything that's just jumping off the page.
It
Besides
looks like they
Carson.
completely tried to rebuild their offensive line, which is good.
Because they have a great running back, but
Yeah.
nobody to block for him.
I'm sure. I think Daniel Jones has the potential to be good if he's not always under pressure.
Wait, did they draft any wide receivers? That's what they need.
No. Wait.
They didn't draft any wide receivers.
They
That's
didn't.
crazy. Because they had like 3 wide receivers last year. Like Shepard, don't even know the other two, but they were all hurt most of the season. Like they
Yeah.
kept getting hurt.
I don't know. But
That's crazy.
like
Um,
baby steps for them.
next is New York Jets. I think they drafted well. My favorite pick was probably Denzel Mims out of Baylor because
He's
you have to give Sam Darnold somebody to throw to if he's not seeing ghost.
It's good that they got another quarterback. Hopefully he's not insane.
James Morgan. Um,
I guess.
couple. Uh, eh, I
I
don't know.
think
It's hard to speak on the Jets because their record last year was 7-9, but I don't feel like. I mean, they won 7 games, but nobody cared because
Yeah.
they weren't really making any noise over there.
P. Ryan was a good pickup. I think that they can have a system with him and Bell.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Le'Veon. Dang, that's crazy. They were supposed to make a lot of noise last season because of Bell, but like I said, the quarterback was seeing ghosts.
He was sick. Yeah, man.
Something was wrong with him.
Very
Philadelphia.
Ooh.
Yes,
good draft.
they met all their needs except for a
Jalen Hurts,
quarterback.
though, I wasn't expecting them to pick Jalen Hurts. And I
I
kind
wasn't
of
either,
don't
but
know why they did it.
I think Jalen Hurts was one of the worst picks of the draft, not because of Jalen Hurts himself, but because of the team that picked him.
I
Because
I just don't see him being, I don't know, man.
I don't think it's justifiable.
I mean, say Carson Wentz gets hurt again. I think
But
I
you
don't
could
know.
have gone and gotten a quarterback, like, from somewhere.
Last year, the quarterbacks got hurt, and they had McCowan in the playoffs. I don't know about y'all, but I think Jalen Hurts might do a little bit better if he was put in that position.
It
I
just
don't know. I
it
hope
just felt like it didn't fit. I don't know. I just feel like they were just doing something.
Like they were like, all right, well, Jalen Hurts is still here, so we'll take him. It's like, well, do
Yeah.
you have a reason? It's like, well, no, not really. It's just Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
we'll see. But they did. I think they did draft well with the wide receivers. They got 3 new wide receivers. Plus, they still have what's his name? Ang Anglor?
Aguilar.
Aguilar?
Mm-hmm.
So I like that they were giving Carson some options. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
I don't have much faith in Carson Wentz either.
Pittsburgh,
God, I didn't even
mediocre.
pay attention to them drafting.
Mediocre.
I forgot they were a team.
I did like that they picked up Chase Claypool to go alongside Juju. But
Really,
I mean,
that was
Surprised they
other
didn't get a
than that,
quarterback.
I honestly don't feel like they need another quarterback.
I mean, they have Big Ben, but he's probably on the way out, and then Mason Rudolph.
I mean, Mason Rudolph is good if he just shut his mouth.
I don't think he was significant enough last season to not at least maybe try and get a quarterback in the draft. Like, I don't think it would have hurt if they would have gotten one.
Maybe they're trying to pick up some of these sleepers in the free agent market. And then we have Seattle.
Oh, what? Your
What
list is different than my list.
Huh?
Your list is different than my list.
My list is in alphabetical order.
You skipped the Niners.
The Niners are after.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think Seattle. I mean, what does Seattle really need?
That's exactly what I
No.
was. Everything is just to beef up. That's all they ever do in the draft because they're always good. And it's because they do stuff like that.
They got a couple of defensive ends, and don't they still have Clowney?
He's still a free agent right now. So
I'm not sure.
I think it'd be smart. Oh, they have that whole thing going on right now with him. I forgot. Okay.
What thing?
So there's a money thing with him. I don't know. I think he might end up leaving though, because I feel like the Seahawks don't want to put a lot of money in their defense. I mean, they have a good defense, if you ask me. But I don't know.
That's something they've kind of always had. Good defense. And then a good offense. I guess they just can't win another Super Bowl. I don't really know what their issue is.
No receivers.
I don't even think they have Metcalf.
Yeah.
Baldwin.
Nugget, that's the first thing you've said in like forever.
20 minutes.
Well,
Like,
I don't know. I didn't really know much about a lot of the people. Well, a lot of the teams. I only kind of follow my team closely and a couple other teams.
it's okay. It'd be like that. You really do.
But I don't know. I think the Seahawks are one of those teams that find out how to get it done either way.
Like during the season.
Yeah, like
You're like, oh, this is what we need.
they'll be fine
They just
by the time the season gets here.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't expect them to like go to the Super Bowl or
They
anything.
bring back Marshawn Lynch like after the season had already started.
yeah.
They always figure it out during the season.
So San Francisco,
A mess.
I feel like we talked about them.
yeah, they really didn't have many draft picks. Tampa Bay,
They lost more than they gained.
for sure.
we kind of talked about Tampa Bay. I think their best draft pick might have been Tristan Wirfs,
Mm-hmm.
no doubt. Although Antoine Winfield Jr. wasn't a bad pick at all. He was second safety ranked.
Yeah, let's hope that the Cowboys would get him, but
They flopped as we expected. They got a running back from ULL.
mm-hmm. Louisiana.
Yeah, Louisiana Lafayette.
That is crazy.
But I mean, other than that,
I feel like it's not a whole lot that they really needed that really stands out anyway.
yeah, because their defense was already good.
They have receivers.
You
Now
got
they have
somebody.
Gronk and Tom Brady. So it's like,
Yeah, they really were just there to be there after they picked up Wirfs.
yeah.
Tennessee and Isaiah Wilson. Oh my goodness, this dude is 6'7", 350.
Yeah,
Sheesh.
Good Lord.
that's
That man
They don't
is
even look right
protecting.
on this. They don't even look right. 6'7".
That man is protecting Ryan Tannehill. Right
yeah.
there.
Tannehill's gonna have plenty of time to throw that ball. Plenty.
He has people.
Imagine being Derrick Henry and just seeing that hole open up that big.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
He's got people to throw to all day, like with AJ Brown and stuff, and now he's got the time to do that.
Hmm.
But y'all
Like you
see,
were saying,
they were smart. They did draft the QB.
Which
they
okay,
paid him.
they
They
kind of
paid him big
should.
bucks.
I
I
don't think they
mean,
had a backup, so
yeah, they probably had to do something.
they had to get
But
it.
yeah, 'cause they just gotten rid of Mariota.
oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I still don't. I don't believe in Tannehill like they do. But I
I
mean,
don't either.
Titans like that. But they gave him the big bucks and then gave Derrick Henry the franchise tag when their whole season last season they owed to Derrick Henry. So
Derrick Henry quite literally carried their season.
the only reason they lost in the playoff game is because everybody knew what they were gonna do. They knew Derrick Henry is their only offensive threat. Like
Hmm.
that was the only place they could go with the ball. Wasn't hard to stop that. Well, I mean, it was hard to stop that. The Patriots couldn't. So I mean, I don't know. They just have to spread out their offense a little bit better. They should have drafted a wide
Yeah, I
receiver,
was just about to say they should have gotten a receiver, but
but
they were picked 29 and like I don't. Well, no, because well by that time by 29 I don't think many like.
I mean, KJ Hill was still on the clock in
Oh,
the
that's
second
true.
round. So, I mean, I don't know. We'll see what they do. Then, last but very least, we have
Washington Redskins.
and
It was a pretty solid draft for them.
Yeah.
yes, but
Is it going to matter?
they
Mm-mm.
still have to
Who
figure
was
out
the quarterback?
they
They're sticking with Dwayne Haskins.
Okay, that's fair.
They got him a weapon to throw to, or a couple weapons. Antonio Gibson was good at Memphis.
They also just signed Thaddeus Moss. It's something.
You
They
know,
needed tight end. Thaddeus Moss was good.
I just want to take a time to talk about fans that don't understand football. Like so many Saints fans I saw were so upset that they didn't draft Thaddeus Moss, but Thaddeus Moss wasn't that great. Like
He's on a good team.
he didn't have like an this breakout year. Like the tight end that we picked up was arguably one of the like if not the best, top two definitely tight ends in the draft. But people don't understand that like if Randy Moss wasn't his dad and he didn't go to LSU, that man probably wouldn't even got signed. Like he wasn't just, his stats weren't that crazy.
Hmm. Well, people were also upset about
Potential.
the Saints not drafting any LSU players at all. But like,
Come
That's
on.
not their job. Like
I don't think that any LSU player would have benefited the Saints that much.
We could have got our hands on Del Pitt. I mean,
Okay, yeah, but I think if anybody, like, he would benefit any team he goes to.
facts.
But and Christian Fulton, he just has like a lot of issues, like off field issues. So I don't know. I think the Saints did good. And I know a lot of people were upset that the entire LSU team didn't go to the Saints, but I think they got what they needed. So
People
please watch football.
people are crazy, man.
Please watch it and then comment.
y'all got any undrafted free agent signings that excited y'all?
I haven't seen like
Wait, I just
any
looked
of
at
them.
time a few minutes ago.
But there are like some teams like the Saints who only signed like 2 people, or then the Chargers who've signed like 20 people already.
I know the Cowboys have somebody.
Tennessee wide receiver Marquez Callaway. We signed him. I like that one. They signed a couple offensive linemen, one from Oregon, one from Northern Illinois. Signed a defensive tackle from Texas, Malcolm Roach.
The Patriots signed the Jamar Smith from Louisiana Tech, the quarterback.
I saw that. I saw that.
Okay.
And then I also saw a comment that was like they they drafted him to be on the practice squad to get ready for people like Lamar Jackson and Cam Newton and stuff like that, which made a lot of sense.
The Falcons, they signed a lot of people. They signed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
The Baltimore Ravens signed a lot of people. Holy moly.
The Falcons signed 20 people.
All of them won't make it.
3 wide receivers.
We should have kept Hooper. That was my biggest thing. Austin Hooper was. Not gonna get into it.
We picked up a cornerback from West Virginia.
The Browns signed a quarterback, Kevin Davidson.
Um,
Cowboys got some more defense needs. And they signed a 6'3", 256-pound running back.
Are you talking about Sewell Olanolua?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're going to convert him. They're planning on playing him this year. They want to convert him to a fullback.
That was really good.
He's a big dude. I know at TCU, the only reason they played him was a lot of times they would direct snap the ball to him and just let him truck through everybody.
The Lions still didn't sign a quarterback. The Packers signed another quarterback.
oh my goodness. Aaron Rodgers
They're
is
trying
leaving.
to scare him. It's like, all right, this ain't
And
working
they
out.
only signed 1 wide receiver and another tight end / fullback.
I think Aaron Rodgers. I think he's gonna pull like a Brett Favre or a Tom Brady. He's gonna get out of there. He's been there his whole career, but I can see him leaving.
Honestly, it's for the best at this point.
But I
They
mean,
signed 2 running backs.
I feel like overall this draft was one
It
for
was
the
pretty good,
ages. It was a lot of talent in it.
especially since it was the first virtual, and I think it went well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it was more entertaining than I expected it to be.
Did y'all
Oh,
see
yeah.
that? I heard that Sean Payton. There was this thing where you weren't supposed to have like brands that weren't like official sponsors of the NFL in your like camera view, and I heard that he broke like a whole bunch of stuff because he had some Twizzlers, he had like a Crush soda, and they're sponsored by Pepsi. And
That's funny.
Yeah.
he was getting in some trouble for that.
He's trying to enjoy himself.
I know, like, come
But I
on.
mean,
This man had the coronavirus. Leave him alone.
the crew that was like in his house should have been like, "Hey, put that up." Like somebody could have told him. But
He probably told him they probably addressed it. He was probably like, "Look, this is my house." Like,
honestly, that's how I would be too, low key. You in my house. But
Yeah, I can do what I want in my house.
I was like, then y'all better pick up a sponsorship for Twizzlers.
right, yeah.
I'm
That's
trying to
you
help y'all out.
slacking, not me. That's you slipping. But yeah, that's funny. It was good. I enjoyed, in a weird way, I enjoyed seeing their houses. I don't know why. It was just cool seeing and seeing them with their kids. That was really cute. So I
Bill
enjoyed
Belichick's house was A1. That was my favorite house.
that house was a hot mess. He needs an interior designer.
Wasn't he in his kitchen?
Yes.
He had the table from the flea market and the blinds you buy for like a condo and
I feel like he's one of those guys that he isn't like intrigued by all the fancy stuff. So his house is probably like his house probably looks like one of ours.
I mean, he's a single dude in like his like 50s. So
He's single?
yeah, he is. He's not. He had a wife, but he's not with her anymore. So like,
Imagine, come on now, can you see any relationship lasting through being a Patriots head coach, winning 6 Super Bowl rings? Like
No.
he probably eats, sleeps, drinks football. Like he
Yeah.
didn't have time for no wife.
I mean, even his dog.
he got the dog.
Dog sitting at the table making the picks, bro. Oh,
eating snacks.
yeah, that was the most Belichick thing I've ever seen. I've seen a lot of Belichick things, but that one took the cake.
See, I think this was one of the greatest drafts in the sense that I got a more personal look at these players' lives. Like
Hmm.
when CeeDee Lamb snatched his phone back.
Oh Lord, that girl
y'all
should
see the
not have reached for
explanation?
his phone.
Did y'all see the explanation?
Yeah,
Uh-uh.
his agent was FaceTiming him, and she was gonna answer it, but like, girl.
That's also
Other favorite
also
one.
Trey Young's ex-girlfriend.
Oh yeah,
Fun fact.
My
yeah.
other favorite one that I can't remember what player it was, but his girlfriend was right there, and he was crying, and she was hugging him and stuff, and his mom tried to like tap her to get her out of the way, and
Yeah.
she wouldn't move, so her mom just like ripped her off on camera. It was funny.
I would have done the same. Like, she
No,
really took his spotlight.
I saw
Well, yeah,
somebody say, if he don't break up with her, his mama gonna be mad at him forever.
like why don't you just move? Like it's not hard.
Oh Lord, it was. I enjoyed it. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
I don't know where Roger Goodell was, but I know that's not his house.
That man said he was in his basement, but that looked like I ain't never seen a basement that nice before.
I think my favorite thing was the 12 fans they had in the back, like on the screen. And the Chargers couldn't even find 12 fans to put on the screen.
Wow.
The further they got in the draft, you could see that there was like more and more empty spaces behind them.
Yeah.
I didn't believe y'all until just now too. I thought y'all was pulling
Oh, so you had to. Why would we lie to you
I don't know.
about that? Of all the things we could lie to you about.
Also, with like Jerry Jones, when I watched him do his pick, I thought he was like probably at the Star or something.
Yeah.
But to find out that's his yacht,
Mm-hmm. $250 million. Why was he on that yacht for 3 days? Like,
where is that yacht at? He's in Dallas. Like, is he?
I know. Where do you even park a yacht in Dallas? Like, I'm so poor.
Going down the river in the yacht?
I don't understand where you park a yacht in Dallas. I'm so confused. I didn't even know $250 million. That's just one thing he's bought.
That's one paycheck for him.
One. That's crazy to me. He really flexed on us. He did what he had to do. I hope he makes all his picks from that yacht because he did well. He was
He
in his
needs to
happy
stay
place.
on the yacht during games, during coaches, like all types of stuff. You need to just stay in the yacht forever.
That's enough out of you. That's enough.
We need to put a football field on that yacht.
Oh God, maybe we'll actually win. But yeah, that's
All right, guys. I
that was
think
a 3-hour show.
was it really 3 hours?
It's like 3 hours.
Oh my
Started
goodness!
at like 12.
Yeah, my plane. I gotta get to the airport like an hour.
Oh,
All right, safe travels, bud.
Yes, sir.
all right.
Are you coming straight to Natchitoches or?
You
Gotta
got
go to Lafayette.
to have a
'cause,
conversation after we stop the recording.
oh.
Oh, okay.
All right. Bye, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Come again.